Hello everyone. Are you ready for today's science topic? Let's dive in. Today's topic is cell structure and functions. We will explore what cells are, what's inside them, and how they work to keep us alive. Now, since this is a higher grade lesson and therefore a bit longer and detailed than usual, let's first have a look at what all we are going to cover today. Introduction, organization of life and what a cell is, cell structure, looking at the parts of a cell, functions, what each part does, cell types, prokaryotic and eukaryotic, including plant, animal, fungal, and protist cells. Finally, we will wrap up with a summary. Let's begin with the introduction. Cells are basic structural and functional units of life. They are often called the building blocks of life because every living thing starts from cells. Think of it like this. A single brick is like a cell. Bricks together form a wall, like cells forming a tissue. Different walls come together to make a room, like tissues forming an organ. Rooms join to make a house, like organs forming an organ system. And many houses make a neighborhood, just like organ systems come together to form an organism. So, a cell is the basic unit of life. All living things are made of cells. Cells perform vital functions like producing energy, growing, and repairing damage. There are two main types of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Eukaryotic cells are further divided into plant, animal, fungal, and protist cells. Now, let's look at the structure of cells. Here's a diagram of a cell. Some important organelles are nucleus, cytoplasm, mitochondrion, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, ribosome, vesicle, lysosome, vacuole, and cell membrane. Next, let's explore what these organelles actually do. To make it simple, let's compare a cell to a city. Just like a city has different departments, a cell has different organelles, each with its own role to keep the cell alive and running smoothly. So let's look at this cell-city analogy. Okay, the cell membrane is like city limits. Vesicles are like trucks. Golgi apparatus is like the post office. Ribosomes are factories. Vacuole is a storage depot. Lysosomes act like the waste management plants. Nucleus is city hall. Endoplasmic reticulum is the road system. Cytoplasm is the land or the area. And mitochondrion is the power plant. Now that we have given a city analogy to each cell organelle, let's learn their exact functions and understand them better with the help of those analogies. So nucleus is like the city hall. It's the control center, storing DNA and giving instructions. Cytoplasm is like the area or the premises. So it's the fluid-filled space where everything is placed and all activities happen. Mitochondrion is like the power plant. So they generate the energy a cell needs. Endoplasmic reticulum is like a road network, moving proteins around. The Golgi apparatus sorts, tags, and delivers proteins just like a post office. Ribosomes are factories that build proteins either floating freely or attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, that is ER. Vesicles transport materials like trucks carrying packages. Lysosomes break down waste and recycle materials, much like the city's waste management system. Vacuoles are like storage tanks holding water, nutrients, or waste. And the cell membranes act like the guarded city borders, controlling what enters and leaves the cell. Now let's look at different types of cells. So there are two types of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic cells do not have a nucleus. Instead, we say that they have nucleoid, which means that their genetic material, which is a circular DNA, floats freely in the cell and is not membrane bound. And this DNA is a very simple DNA. The prokaryotic cells do not have any membrane-bound cell organelles. They are typically much smaller. They divide by binary fission. They are typically unicellular and they can be anaerobic or aerobic. On the other hand, eukaryotic cells have nucleus, which means their genetic material, which is a linear DNA, is held inside the nucleus, which is a membrane-bound organelle. And these eukaryotic cells have a complex DNA. Eukaryotic cells have membrane-bound organelles. They are typically much larger. They divide by mitosis and meiosis. They are typically multicellular and they are aerobic. However, there are certain similarities between both prokaryotic cells as well as eukaryotic cells. That is, they both have chromosomes. DNA is the genetic material in both the cells. They have ribosomes, they have cytoplasm, they have cell membranes, they have vacuoles, and sometimes they even have cell walls. Now let's move on to the types of eukaryotic cells. Plant cells have chloroplasts for photosynthesis, a big central vacuole, and a rigid cell wall. Animal cells don't have chloroplasts or cell walls, but they do have small vacuoles and organelles like lysosomes and centrioles. Fungal cells have vacuoles, a chitin cell wall, and often more than one nucleus, but no chloroplasts. Protists are a diverse group. Most are single-celled, but some act like plants with chloroplasts, and others act like animal cells. Now let's wrap up this lesson with a summary. Cells are life's building blocks. All living things are made of cells, either one or many. Cells carry out vital jobs like producing energy, growing, repairing, and much more. There are two main types of cells: prokaryotes, small, simple, no nucleus, no membrane-bound organelles; eukaryotes, larger, complex, with nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. Eukaryotes include animal, plant, fungal, and protist cells. Remember the cell-city analogy. The nucleus is city hall, cytoplasm is the city grounds, mitochondria are the power plants, endoplasmic reticulum is the road system, Golgi apparatus is the post office, ribosomes are factories, vesicles are trucks, vacuoles are storage, lysosomes are waste management plants, and the cell membrane is the guarded city border. Now, time for quiz. So let's start with the first question. Which of the following shows the levels of organization in living things? Tissue, cell, organ, organ system, organism; cell, tissue, organ, organ system, organism; organism, organ system, organ, tissue, cell. The correct answer is cell, tissue, organ, organ system, organism. Next question. Which statement is true about prokaryotic cells? They have a nucleus. They contain membrane-bound organelles. They divide by binary fission. The correct answer is they divide by binary fission. Next question. In plant cells, the large central vacuole mainly helps in transporting proteins, photosynthesis, storage of water and nutrients. The correct answer is storage of water and nutrients. Next question. Which organelle in the cell sorts and dispatches proteins? Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, vesicle. Yes, the correct answer is Golgi apparatus. Next question. Which of the following correctly matches cell type with its unique feature? Animal cell chloroplasts, plant cell cellulose cell wall, fungal cell centrioles. Yes, the correct answer is plant cell cellulose cell wall. Now the last question. Which statement best describes the function of mitochondria? They produce energy through cellular respiration. They store genetic information for the cell. They synthesize proteins for the cell. Yes, the correct answer is they produce energy through cellular respiration. Well done, cell scholars. You have explored how cells are life's basic units, how each organelle has a role like a city department, and how different cell types compare. Like real scientists, you now understand how these tiny units build the living world around us. Keep questioning and keep exploring the microscopic world that powers life.